Even though the treasure ship had slowed, catching it was still out of the question. Qin Mu steadied himself and wrapped the ship in his vital qi before heading below deck. How many medicinal stones do we have left? Hu Linga was busy feeding stones into the pill furnace and could only pout in response. Qin Mu glanced over and frowned. Nearly all the baskets were empty, only 1.5 remained. The stones powering Eternal Peace Empire's flying ships came specially wrapped in craft paper you just tossed in packet after packet to keep flying. They'd bought over a dozen baskets, enough to reach great ruins. But constant stops to melt icicles had drained their supply. The cold's too intense, Hu Linga said. Even at full furnace power, I doubt we'll make it. The ship shuddered violently. Qin Mu moved toward the hatch just as he peeked out. He slammed it shut. Clink, clink, clink. A flurry of flying swords embedded themselves in the hull. He pushed the hatch open again. A sword pellet spun overhead, the deck and hold bristling with swords that quivered, straining to pull free and return to it. Hack sword form. Qin Mu's hand swept down. Junior Protector sword cleaved through the pellet, which exploded, sending 100 broken blades tumbling from the sky. Superb sword, a voice called out. Qin Mu looked up. A scholar was racing toward them across the sky 10,000 feet above, moving at a speed that made one's eyes widen. Heavenly Devil Cult's Master Qin, your identity is exposed. The road ahead will be rough. The scholar leaped as if flying, divine arts exploding behind him to propel him forward. His voice carried steadily with a smile. Many Dao friends await you up ahead. Qin Mu's gaze sharpened. He extended his hand, and Junior Protector sword swept toward the scholar in a flash of cold light. The man raised his loose sleeves to meet it, but when the sword light pierced through, his expression shifted. He flicked his fingers, and a divine art burst forth, transforming into flaming sparrows that collided with the blade. Qin Mu's sword fingers twisted. Spiral sword form. The sparrows shredded, the sword glowing red-hot as it spun around the scholar, shearing his clothes to nothing. Superb sword skill. The scholar halted, putting distance between himself and the ship. Qin Mu felt his vital qi thread reach its limit. He drew his sword sheath, shaking it in the wind. It became a fish dragon, and Junior Protector sword flew back like a shooting star, swallowed whole. Amitabha? A Buddha's name echoed from above. Qin Mu looked up sharply, squinting against the dazzling sun. Within the blazing light, a massive golden Buddha descended directly toward the ship. His vital qi surged. Junior Protector sword flew out again, transforming into drill sword form aimed at the descending Buddha. Vajra unbeatable. A shout rang out. Qin Mu's drill form slowed to a crawl under immense pressure that bore down through his body onto the ship. His bones creaked, the vessel groaned and sank. This monk is an expert. Qin Mu grunted. His body shifted Mars sovereign form, bull-headed, standing on twin dragons. Overlord Body 3 Elixir technique flowed into Mars Fire Marquis True technique, his vital qi multiplying to counter the pressure above. The third eye in his brow opened, shooting a beam of fire upward. A cry came from above as the sun halo behind the great Buddha was pierced and shattered. The Buddha vanished, revealing a young monk. The pressure eased. Blazing fire flowed from Qin Mu's body across the ship, melting the icicles. The treasure ship shot forward, entering the cloud layer. Above, the tall, sturdy monk stood on one leg, 9-ringed staff in hand, blood dripping from his other leg. His Vajra unbeatable technique had failed to fully block drill sword form. Mars Sovereign's attack had destroyed his manifestation, forcing him back. There! The monk's eyes lit up. He sprinted across the clouds, each step leaving a white lotus that propelled him forward with renewed force. Through the sea of clouds, the treasure ship was faintly visible. Qin Mu looked back. The monk was gaining, his speed considerable. All these ambushers were experts. Long Jianan and the woman named Qiu were 7 stars realm. This scholar and young monk were no ordinary fighters either. The scholar, his sword pellet destroyed, had still parried Junior Protector sword bare-handed. Though his clothes were shredded, he remained uninjured. Junior Protector sword was an imperial official's blade. Even at reduced power, its sharpness was extraordinary. For the scholar to shield his body spoke of immense strength. And this monk solidly trained, taking drill sword form head-on with only a wounded foot. If Qin Mu hadn't identified the sun behind his head as Vajra Unbeatable's weak point, the pressure would have driven the ship into the ground. Both men were peak 6 directions realm, if not 7 stars. The monk's leg was injured, yet his speed barely slackened. He seemed to be slowly closing the distance. Linga, full power. At Qin Mu's command, the ship's speed increased, pulling away. The monk stopped chasing, admiration in his voice. What a fast ship. Qin Mu's heart sank. The monk and scholar had both halted, meaning they were confident he couldn't escape their net. More experts lay ahead. The ship sailed on, then slowed again. Few medicinal stones remained. Full furnace power would waste them, and they'd never reach Great Ruins. Once we clear this cloud sea, we're in Great Ruins territory. The village is just over 1,000 li from there. Qin Mu dropped Ma's sovereign form and went to the bow. The cloud sea stretched endlessly, still no end in sight. The ship's speed remained decent, the cold bearable. Then he spotted something strange about a dozen li away, colorful light swirling continuously, refracting in all directions. As they drew closer, Qin Mu saw the source pillars of ice like enormous swords, refracting sunlight into dazzling colors across the cloud sea. Each was immensely thick, requiring dozens to encircle. If they were swords, only titanic giants could wield them. They seemed to grow from the cloud sea, spinning upright, clearly not natural formations. Qin Mu's expression shifted. He wrenched the helm hard to starboard. The metal ship tilted until its deck was nearly vertical, sliding in a sharp arc past the ice pillars. "Linger, full furnace power." Grumbles came from below. "Young master, if we keep this up, we really won't make it back to Great Ruins. There's hardly any stones left." Qin Mu ignored her, righting the ship. To port, the massive ice swords suddenly moved as if a many-armed giant had wrenched them free. They sliced through the air with piercing whistles, slashing toward the ship. The ship lurched forward. Qin Mu dodged the descending blades and glanced back. A woman in blue stood among the ice swords, beautiful but icy cold. Her aqua-vital chi had formed a dozen arms, each making stabbing motions that directed the huge blades accordingly. "At least she can't catch us." Even as he thought it, her speed suddenly increased. She sprinted across the clouds, arms still flailing. A tremendous boom came from beneath the ship. It shuddered violently, tumbling through the sky, nearly throwing Qin Mu overboard. He clung desperately to the helm. When the ship finally steadied, he saw ice swords sprouting everywhere from the cloud surface. They'd collided with one, it shattered, but the ship was badly damaged. This woman's ability surpasses even the monks. And her speed. Qin Mu wove through the growing forest of ice swords, evasion becoming increasingly difficult. "Where's Juqian Devil King?" The 8-armed devil god emerged lazily from below deck, wearing an expression that clearly said, "Kill me if you want, I'm not helping." Qin Mu's temper flared. "Want to kneel and lick my toes again? If not, get over here and help. You think I'm afraid of you?" Juqian Devil King sneered, but he approached. "I am the ruler of Juqian, after all. Say please." Veins bulged on Qin Mu's forehead. "Please?" Juqian Devil King smiled with satisfaction. "The day has finally come when you lower your head to me." Seeing Qin Mu about to explode, he quickly suppressed his smile. Devil language poured from his mouth, growing more urgent. The 8-armed, four-faced Devil King raised his arms high. A black mirror materialized above the flying ship. A thick pillar of black light shone down onto the cloud sea, spreading ink-like darkness. In moments, black fog covered a dozen li, engulfing the woman in blue. Within the smoke, she grunted. Her heart grew disordered, impure thoughts flooded her mind. Even a crystalline Tao heart couldn't withstand the corruption. Her secrets of hatred parting heavenly sword normally separated passion and hatred, suppressing all impure thoughts to keep her sword heart transparent. Now, contaminated, her inner demon surged, filling her with desires. What a pity. Juqian Devil King sighed. With half a day, I could train this ice mountain woman to lick my toes. A Buddha's voice sounded from within the devil fog. The tall monk arrived, his 9-ringed staff blazing with light that split the darkness apart. As he drove back the fog, a hot figure fell into his arms. His Buddhist heart nearly shattered. It was the icy woman from Passion Parting Palace, clothes half undone, nearly naked. The monk pushed her away sharply. "Senior sister Yu. You've fallen under the devil's spell, awaken." Yu, jolted by his Buddha voice, dispersed her heart demon. Face crimson, she covered herself. How embarrassing. I fell to their tricks and let them escape. Heavenly Devil Cult Master Qin Mu is naturally skilled in devil arts, the young monk said, his staff's golden ring swaying to help suppress her lingering heart demon. But with this little monk here, he cannot go too far. Yu shook her head. His ship is too fast. Catching him will be difficult if he flees. No need to worry. Behind them, the young scholar caught up. Poor logic sect's teacher, poor disciple, Scholar Lan Yu, greet senior brother Ban Kai and senior sister Yu. It's not just us hunting this devil cult master, almost everyone of our generation has joined. They've laid an inescapable net. Monk Ban Kai started to respond, then saw a swarm of insects surging toward them, a massive red snake controlling demonic energy at their head. 3 Wonder Castle Senior Sister Chiao Yu and Dragon Rider Sect's young master Long Jianan, Lan Yu observed. Long Jianan's temperament is peculiar. He likes men and chased me for half a day when he saw my handsome face. Let's avoid meeting him. In the distance, countless sword lights crisscrossed through the clouds, dazzling bright. Monk Ban Kai's eyes lit up. Some sword sect expert has intercepted the devil cult master. Let's hurry over. They all agreed, but then saw a figure leaping across the clouds like an ape, chasing after the treasure ship. Duke Ape Sword Sect's young swordsman, Yuan Shan. Lan Yu recognized him and shouted, "Senior brother Yuan Shan. The devil cult master can't escape, let's surround and destroy him together." Yuan Shan halted, waiting for them to catch up. "The devil cult master has a treasure sword. He destroyed my sword pellet. His ship is strange too, not wood, but metal. I struck it with thousands of swords and couldn't break through. Black iron," Yu said. "When it collided with my hatred-parting ice sword, mine shattered instead. An iron ship that flies." They exchanged bewildered looks. How could something so heavy stay airborne? Lan Yu glanced behind them and his expression shifted. "Long Jianan is coming. Let's go quickly." Qin Mu had shaken Yuan Shan off and now surveyed his ship. Thousands of holes gaped where flying swords had pierced it, air leaking everywhere. Duke Ape Sword Sect's Yuan Shan was nimble, his movements and attacks swift. Fortunately, the black iron hull was sturdy enough to withstand the expert's assault. But with air escaping through the hold, speed was dropping. The bow's collision with the ice sword had created a huge breach. At full speed, wind pouring into the hull slowed them considerably. "If I could stop, half a day would fix this. But these bastards won't give me half a day. At least we're not far from great ruins." Hu Linger's voice came from below. "Young master, the bronze beast head under the ship is severed. Is that important?" Qin Mu paused. "Not important. Landing will just be a little bumpy." The little fox popped her head out, eyes shining. "How bumpy? Why do you ask? We're out of medicinal stones." She said it brightly. "Didn't you notice, young master? We're gradually descending. We'll fall from the sky soon." The ship was indeed beginning to sink into the cloud sea. Qin Mu made a quick decision. "Linger, wake that pig. It's time for him to contribute." Duqian Devil King erupted. "Rascal! Who are you calling a pig? I've clearly contributed." Hu Linger rolled her eyes. "We weren't talking about you. Why admit you're a pig?" Young master meant Fatty Dragon. "Fatty Dragon! Wake up, stop sleeping. The ship is falling and young master says it'll be a little bumpy." The dragon Cheline slowly roused and crawled out, belly dragging. "You were calling me Big Dragon just a few days ago. Can he even fly?" Qin Mu hurriedly checked the New Year's goods in the hold, storing them in his Dao Tai sack. He grabbed Duqian Devil King, trying to stuff him in two, but the sack's mouth was too small, only fitting one leg. He considered dismantling the devil god's body. Duqian Devil King snapped, "What are you doing? Don't dismantle me. My consciousness is in this body. If you dismantle it, you dismantle me. Don't you know how to use that sack? Light the mouth with your vital chi." Qin Mu's eyes lit up. His vital chi poured out, illuminating the Dao Tai markings. Suddenly the opening expanded into a massive maw 20 yards across, swallowing Duqian Devil King whole. This is indeed easier. He tied the sack to his waist, jumped onto the dragon Cheline with Hu Linger, and shouted, "Abandon ship. Let's go." Fire clouds formed beneath the dragon Cheline's feet. They rose from the ship as it sank into the clouds and began its fall. The dragon Cheline said simply, "Cult Master, Sister Linger, have you gotten fatter? It's much harder to fly than before." "You're the fat one," the little fox snapped. "Look at yourself. The elders in young master's family are very fierce. If you keep getting fatter, you'll be slaughtered for New Year's." Behind them, the treasure ship crashed into a mountain and shattered. The 3 pill furnaces exploded in sequence, 3 deafening blasts. Fragments of black iron and copper shot in all directions. The violent impact destroyed part of the forest, a massive mushroom cloud of black smoke billowing above the tree line. Hu Linger jumped, looking at Qin Mu. "Young master, you said it would be slightly bumpy when landing." "Yes." Qin Mu nodded, then shouted, "Fatty Dragon! If you don't run faster, you'll be New Year's dinner." The dragon Cheline shuddered and sprinted with all his might. The fire clouds beneath his feet intensified, speed increasing dramatically. But after a dozen li, he was panting heavily. Suddenly, dozens of mirrors appeared around them. They had risen from the mountain peak below, each 8-cornered, spinning as they grew to 3 yards across, 300 yards away. The dragon Cheline dove, but a mirror rose from below to block him. He tried to climb, a mirror came from above. Sword light flew from the mountain, striking one mirror with a clink. It reflected to another, then another. More sword lights followed from the peak, multiplying with each reflection until they formed an incredibly dense net. And still more sword lights came. What a strange formation! Qin Mu's hair stood on end. It was a sword formation using mirrors, concentrating reflected sword light with almost no waste. But easy to destroy, just break the mirrors. He raised his hand. Junior Protector sword slashed toward a mirror, but countless sword lights struck it, knocking the blade away. It tumbled into the forest below. His cultivation is much higher than mine. 6 directions realm, or 7 stars. His heart sank. He drew the sword sheath, ready to recall Junior Protector. The dragon Cheline's space for maneuver shrank rapidly. Then the beast swung his head and roared. The roar was like 10,000 heavenly thunders detonating simultaneously. The mirrors in the sky shattered all at once. Without them, the dense sword net vanished instantly. An astonished voice came from below. What a powerful brute! Such a strong ability! At the word brute, the dragon Cheline's fury ignited. He spat a ball of flame toward the mountain peak. A sword light veered aside, a human and sword as one, evading the attack. The peak exploded, fire clouds scattering in all directions, separating man from blade and hurling them into the forest. But the man wasn't dead. He rose again, a mirror floating before him. Light shone from within, shooting out a pillar-like sword beam. The dragon Cheline fled, leaving the beam behind. But the sword light was faster. It caught up. The dragon Cheline shook, growing to his true form, a behemoth over 120 yards long. His enormous tail swept, shattering the sword light into pieces. The swordsman stared, stunned, then cried out, "What a huge brute!" The dragon Cheline turned his head back and spewed blazing fire. The swordsman knew danger and fled into the clouds above, but the brilliant beam sliced through them with its intense heat. A miserable shriek came from the sky. Whether the swordsman lived or died was unknown. Sunlight scattered down through the hole in the thick clouds. "Fatty dragon is so awesome," Hu Ling praised. Qin Mu looked at the sliced cloud, expression worried. Among their pursuers, the highest cultivation belonged to Long Jianan and the icy woman from Passion Parting Palace, both 7 stars realm. Next came the monk, the scholar, and others between 6 directions and 7 stars. These were just the vanguard. Their task, test whether any experts surrounded Qin Mu. He was Heavenly Devil Cult's master, after all. Guardians or other strong existences should be present. Now the dragon Cheline had been exposed. The power of his blow far exceeded what Long Jianan and the rest could handle. That meant the stronger existences would now have to act. Qin Mu had kept fleeing, refusing to engage, hoping to keep the hidden experts guessing. If they couldn't determine whether he had companions, they'd keep sending the vanguard, giving him time to reach great ruins. That had been his safest path. Now, with the dragon Cheline's move, that chance was lost. The Heavenly Devil Cult experts had been ordered to deliver disaster relief. No guardian accompanied him. It's less than 1,000 li to great ruins. Run! Qin Mu let out a deep breath. The closer we get, the safer we'll be. The dragon Cheline, enormous now, moved far faster than before. Despite his huge belly and heavy panting, he ran like flickering light and passing shadows. Soon they'd covered over 100 li beneath the clouds, meeting no one. Suddenly Qin Mu said, "Stop. Land on that mountain below." The dragon Cheline halted, shrinking as he descended into a snow-covered valley among the peaks. Snow lay 3 yards deep. The surrounding mountains were pure white, desolate, with no buildings in sight. Blazing flames surrounded Qin Mu, melting the snow to reveal skeletons covering the valley floor. An ancient battlefield. A bloodbath had occurred here. His green heaven's eyes had spotted the overflowing grudge, that's why he'd chosen this place. Let's meet these existences chasing the Heavenly Devil Cult master. Right here. Let's see how much stronger they really are. Qin Mu hardened his heart. His vital qi burst forth. Countless bones piled up, forming 4 white bone altars. He took out the 4 devil god sculptures hidden in his Dao Tai sack and placed them on the altars. Then he drew Great Mountain Sect's talisman treasure and began casting. Ghost transferring god dispatching runes, command of Great Mountain Sect. These 4 sculptures depicted Dutian's devil gods. Dutian Devil King had made him carve 5, scheming against those devil gods unwilling to follow orders. Qin Mu had only summoned one so far for remained. Rascal! If you summoned my true body, I could kill them all. Dutian Devil King's fierce voice came from the sack. Qin Mu ignored him. Cryptic devil language rang out. The talisman treasure swirled as runes on the first devil god sculpture lit up one by one. He gradually built a connection with a devil god from the other world, using himself as a bridge. You're truly of the devil path, hiding here to summon devils. An ancient voice spoke. An old Daoist walked over, horsetail whisk in hand, sword on his back. You always claim not to be a devil cult, so tell me, how is this different from what devils do? Qin Mu continued his summoning, unaffected. Suddenly, blood light burst forth, dyeing the snow-covered valley as if washed in blood. The blood light overflowed into the sky. Crackling sparks became coiling lightning that burst in all directions, striking the valley walls, melting snow, even liquefying rock into lava that flowed down. The lightning coiled around the blood light, forming a crackling net. Terrifying devil energy bombarded from the other world, striking the sculpture on the altar. The wooden sculpture instantly ruptured and swelled, growing taller and taller, its aura more and more terrifying. Dutian Devil King's angry, anxious voice came from the sack at Qin Mu's waist. Rascal! You held back when summoning Kaiahe Devil God, didn't you? Summoning Disaster Devil God this time is much more powerful. He wronged Qin Mu this time. When Qin Mu had summoned Kaiahe Devil God at Imperial College, he hadn't fully mastered the devil language. In the days since, he digested the language learned when making the Pact of Earth count with Dutian Devil King. Greater mastery meant a more powerful summoning. He hadn't been holding back before. The old Daoist saw this terrifying sight and lost his composure. His expression shifted. He sent out his horsetail whisk. Go! The whisk lengthened in the wind. Each hair became a fine sword dozens of yards long, spreading in midair like a swirling white umbrella countless times larger. The whisk's danger was extreme. Each hair a fine sword, the finer, the harder to defend against. Its speed was tremendous. It sliced through countless lightning bolts. The old man appeared above the valley in an instant, striking at the terrifying devil energy pouring from the other world. Qin Mu felt the summoning intercepted. He shouted. The dragon Chelene rose, roaring angrily. His roar rushed toward the whisk, disrupting its hairs. The interrupted devil energy flowed through again, continuing to pour over. When the old Daoist saw the dragon Chelene, he was delighted. He sneered, hairy brute. Helping a villain do evil brings calamity, even unknowingly. I see you're handsome. Submit to me, be my mount for 100 years, and I'll allow you to wash away your sins. Otherwise, your cultivation will turn to ashes. The dragon Chelene exploded with rage. Brute! Flames accumulated in his open mouth, shooting toward the old Daoist. The old Daoist's body trembled. His vital chi burst forth, forming a 30-yard tortoise-backed god behind him. The horsetail whisk in his hand became a huge snow-white snake. His other hand reached out, blocking the dragon Chelene's beam. The huge hand deflected the beam aside. Overflowing flames scorched the valley walls red. Celestial being. Qin Mu's heart sank. The dragon Chelene's hooves pumped. Fire clouds grew beneath them as he sprinted toward the old Daoist. Suddenly, the horsetail whisk swept down from above, its hairs coiling tightly around the dragon Chelene's hooves. The old Daoist smiled with delight. Little brute. Won't you submit? Do you want to be killed? At that moment, Qin Mu patted his Dao Tai sack. The mouth grew larger. An 8-armed, four-faced devil god mechanism leaped out, 8 treasures in 8 hands, a guqin, a bead, a bow, an arrow, a sarira, a broken sword, a devil-subduing pestle, and 1,000 banners pagoda treasures stolen from Roland's golden palace. When Qin Mu had stuffed Dutian Devil King into the sack, the devil god had swiftly grabbed the treasures. Released now, he understood what Qin Mu wanted assistance in this fight. Dutian Devil King knew exactly what to do. If he stayed beside Qin Mu, the boy might let him live. But if Qin Mu was killed, falling into the old Daoist's hands meant death for him too. For Dutian's migration plan, he had to fight this old Daoist as if his life depended on it. The Roland's Golden Palace treasures were all sect legacy level, immensely powerful. As the greatest sacred ground beyond the Great Wall, what they kept was naturally no small matter. Qin Mu hadn't had time to cultivate with them. Now in Dutian Devil King's hands, his murderous nature surfaced. All four faces looked fierce. He thought, if I catch this brat off guard and kill him, I'll be free. But this steel body is filled with his traps. If I killed him and they activated, I'd be trapped inside this sculpture, unable to move. Let me deal with this little old Daoist first. Guqin strings rang out. Waves of devil voice burst forth, bombarding the old Daoist soul. His heart-stirred heart demons rose in his Dao heart. He shouted, performing a cleansing mudra to suppress them. The tortoise-backed god apparition raised its hand. The white snake horsetail whisk rose. Huge waves suddenly overflowed into the sky, crashing down against Duqian Devil King. Duqian Devil King's faces roared ferociously. The power of the 8 treasures in his hands burst forth, smacking into the descending waves. An earth-shattering bang. Duqian Devil King flew backward, crashing hard into a cliff. The white snake horsetail whisk opened its mouth wide, smashing against him, nailing him to the mountain. Little Daoist! You have no idea how terrifying the ruler of Duqian is. You have angered me. The cliff exploded. Duqian Devil King flew from the shattered mountain. He shook the 1,000 banners pagoda. The 1,000 banners fluttered, transforming into a 3,000-yard pagoda pressing down on the old Daoist. The old man sneered. The god behind him performed a mudra, smacking both Duqian Devil King and the 1,000 banners pagoda out of the sky. They hit the ground, motionless. At that moment, the intense bloodlight and devil energy in the air suddenly vanished. On the white bone altar, the bare-headed devil god sculpture became a 300-yard devil god, unleashing a world-shaking bellow. Weaklings of this lowly world, prepare to welcome the wrath of great devil god Xiongpi. Old man Duqian. Devil god Xiongpi looked down at Duqian Devil King beneath his feet and laughed loudly. Old man Duqian. For the supreme ruler of Duqian to be suppressed to such a state. Our Duqian is what it is today because of a useless ruler like you. Trash like you should just give up the position of Devil King. Duqian Devil King was ashamed and furious. He tried to rise. Great devil god Xiongpi looked down from above and stepped on him, chuckling. You have this day too, tyrant. Devil summoner. What do you plan to sacrifice to me for summoning me out? Him. Qin Mu pointed at the old Daoist. Great devil god Xiongpi sent a punch toward him. The tortoise-backed god apparition raised its hand to block. A dull boom rang out. The aftermath left Qin Mu muddle-headed. The old Daoist was blown backward, smashing into the opposite cliff. Great devil Xiongpi leaped, punching the old Daoist's body with a malicious smile. Delicious weakling, eh? A sword light appeared behind him, stabbing through his heart from the back deep enough that its tip emerged from his chest. The old Daoist had used a hidden treasure sword, striking true. Not bad. But this body isn't what you think. Great devil god Xiongpi smiled maliciously, raising his fist to smash the cliff. This body is merely a devil god sculpture. Even if you behead me, you can't do anything to me. Is that so? A voice came from behind. Great devil god Xiongpi turned his head back sharply. A sword light circled his neck 3 times. His huge head fell from his shoulders. Daoist Ku Yi, this stupid disciple has arrived late. The sword light flew up, landing on a cliff top where a scholar stood, green clothes fluttering in the air. His gaze moved from great devil god Xiongpi's headless body to Qin Mu. He greeted respectfully. Poor logic sect subordinate of teacher Poor, Lu Wenshu, pays respect to Heavenly Devil Cult Master. Heavenly Devil Cult's master is a senior. It isn't overboard for a junior to make a move on a senior, is it? Great devil god Xiongpi's head flew up, landing back on his neck. He smiled. Another Everman has appeared. Qin Mu shook his head calmly. Teacher Poor is of the same generation as me. Sending only you, not moving himself, that's already underestimating me. Lu Wenshu said leisurely. It's not that teacher doesn't want to meet Heavenly Devil Cult's master personally. He has other matters to attend to, saving all the people in the world. Assassinating the emperor? Qin Mu asked. Imperial Preceptor gave old Rulai face, letting him save teacher Poor and the rest. Old Rulai gave his word that teacher Poor would become a monk and never dabble in worldly affairs again. Why has he gone back on his word? Lu Wenshu's expression stiffened, then he suddenly laughed. For the lives of the people in the world, why can't he go back on his word? Qin Mu turned his head to look. A Daoist nun was coming from another mountain, wearing a white Daoist robe with a plum blossom embroidered on her chest. Wanderer Qing Yu of Spirit Bloom Palace greets Heavenly Devil Cult Master, she said. Qin Mu smiled. Why does a wanderer need to greet? The Daoist nun said solemnly, though you're an enemy, etiquette must not be lost. Little cult master of Heavenly Devil Cult, you may resent us for bullying the weak, but you are cult master of the #1 sacred ground of the Devil Path. Your seniority is higher than ours. This cannot truly be considered bullying the weak. Qin Mu smiled slightly. Not a problem. Who else wants to kill me? I'm here to kill you. A magic cloud floated over. An Arhat landed on a mountain top, prayer beads on both hands, each bead as big as a human head. He put his palms together. Heavenly Devil Cult Master's position is extremely high. This little monk is here to enlighten you, to subdue the devil. May Heavenly Devil Cult Master give your guidance. The Cult Master of the #1 sacred ground in the devil path shouldn't fear an additional person like me, should he? Another person arrived at another mountain peak, wearing tattered clothes filled with holes. But he was high-spirited, laughing loudly with heroism reaching the clouds. I'm a subordinate of Beggar Sect's Master Chi Dayo. Lotus Hall Master Luo Sanpo greets Heavenly Devil Cult Master. I'm here to claim the Cult Master's life. That's right, the Cult Master seems to have a little fox demon who offended Sect Master Chi. He said she must be killed. Hu Linga immediately hid behind Qin Mu, only her head peeking out. Your Sect Master Chi is really petty. He's impotent. Luo Sanpo pointed at her, smiling. That's the little fox. Everyone. For me to be able to encircle and annihilate Heavenly Devil Cult Master alongside all those in the righteous path, truly a lucky chance, a joyous event. Let's call this convention of ours the Assembly to Slaughter Devils and Defend Dao. Assembly to Slaughter Devils and Defend Dao? Excellent name. In the mountain, dazed Ku Yi crawled up and spat out a mouthful of blood. He sat down on the cliff to catch his breath. If we can annihilate Heavenly Devil Cult Master and return peace to the world, our investment will be worth it. Everyone! For the righteous path! On the surrounding mountain peaks, emotion surged in the bosoms of all the great experts of Celestial Being Realm. They shouted heroically in unison, for the righteous path of this world. Kill! The 5 great experts were full of vigor. Their vital chi burst forth. Apparitions of gods appeared behind them. Each unleashed their strongest move, attacking toward the valley. At that moment, Great Devil God Xiongpi roared in anger. All the energy in his body exploded. Boundless Heavenly Devil! Qin Mu immediately brought Hu Linga to hide behind the Dragon Chalene. A terrifying quake shook the valley, loosening mountain rocks that fell from the sky and shattered into powder. Even with the Dragon Chalene blocking most of it, Qin Mu and Hu Linga still felt unimaginable pressure. Their bones creaked. All the great experts of Celestial Being Realm vomited blood and fell backward. Whether they lived or died was unknown. Qin Mu peeked out from behind the Dragon Chalene. Great Devil God Xiongpi stood alone, majestic. Hu Linga was surprised and delighted. Xiongpi is so powerful. Suddenly, Great Devil God Xiongpi's body began to crumble and break, inch by inch. They heard him muttering, energy depleted. A pity I can't harvest these sacrifices. But luckily I got to see how pathetic Duqian Devil King is. Devil Summoner. I'm off. When he finished, his body exploded with a bang as his consciousness returned to the other world. Hu Linga was stunned. Then they heard coughing Luo Sanpo and the rest. The experts hadn't been killed by Great Devil God Xiongpi. Young Master. Hu Linga turned to look at Qin Mu. It's fine. Qin Mu rose and patted the dust from his body. He pulled up Duqian Devil King, crushed into the ground, and threw him onto the Dragon Chalene's back. The youth was in high spirits as he put the 3 other altars into his sack and shouted, "Fatty dragon! Run,